just one added layer. Okay, so net income continued. So if you could write this down. Somebody join. Can you type here? I see. Just look at the number. After Isabella, okay. We are on page 51. If somebody joined after I mentioned it. So write this down, okay, on page 51. Have your charts ready, your tables. '51, Tessa. There should be some room underneath. Yeah. You don't have a chart? Did I give you one yesterday? But you gave it back, okay. I think I put it back in the. Okay. So you're gonna need these charts. You have it. Okay. Anybody else? Yes, yes. Okay. So I'll walk you through this, if you don't mind. Okay. So this is a question. We started with just getting the hours and the wage, and we would find the gross pay. Then we introduced the overtime. So you have to, calculate the regular and the overtime and add it up, then you find the gross pay. So this is one that kind of reviews all of that. But notice that I go from gross pay to deductions to net pay. So this is like the full circle, right, of what actually happens when you work, right? You get your gross pay. You see on your pay stub, and we're going to look at one in a bit, you get your money taken off. And then at the end, you want to know, how much do I take home? Okay. And so let's find the gross pay first. So I'm going to just, if you joined, okay, we're on page 51. I wrote this down, okay? So A, calculate the gross pay. We have regular and we have overtime. Okay. So this person worked more than 40. So, but for the first 40 hours, you made $18.30 every hour. Okay. So that goes there. For the overtime, we've worked 5 hours of overtime and it's $18.30, but it's time and a half. Okay. If you go time and a half, there's that word there. That means times 1.5, okay, if you see that. So times 1.5, and you get something there. So we're just going to do one more line where we convert this to the overtime rate, and that's 27.45. I need you to know this, okay? This is the overtime wage. While you're working overtime, you're making 27.45. Okay? So times 5, you make 137 there. I'm going to get rid of this equal here because I don't want you to recalculate it. And then it's 40 times 1830. That's $732. So regular, overtime. Now we're going to find the gross pay. Gross is those two added up. And that's 869.25. If you've just answered A there. I hope you remember how to do this. If not, I mean, we still have some time. You have some time to review before Monday's test, okay? It will be based on chapter 1 and 2, but mainly chapter 2. And B, I'm going to make a line here and answer B here, okay? It says calculate his deductions. Assume claim code 3. We know if you've taken this course, you should know, okay, I know where I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that for federal or provincial taxes later. But it says here, watch, on top of the 4 mandatory, right? That's your CPP, your EI, your federal tax, your provincial tax. He also pays $15 for parking and $125 for a meal plan that the company provides. So we're going to have to take that into account as well. But first of all, we're going to do this. CPP, come up with that. EI, come up with that. Federal, and provincial. Let's come up with these values using our chart. What are we going to base it on? This income right here, the 869.25. That's where you get each one of these values from. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so that you can see me using my chart. Okay? So if you have this table right here, this is the table that you need for this. Go and find it if you haven't done so already at home, okay? If you're here, you should all have one. So the first couple pages, it's the Canadian pension plan. So we're gonna have to scan through this. It starts at the lowest bracket here, and then it keeps increasing all the way down that first column, and it keeps going and it keeps going, right? It just continues. So we have to go and find where 869.25 fit into. This second page doesn't get me there. The third page doesn't get me there. So I keep flipping. Now I realize I have to go find the 800s, right? Keep flipping. Once you get to B14, at the bottom there's a page there, right? B14. That's when you start finding the 800s. So I need 869.25. So here, there are the 869s right here, right? I'm going to just focus a bit so that you can see it. You have to be very careful. 869.25 would fit between these two numbers. That's where 869.25, it lands between. So you go and grab this number right here. Don't write on my charts, okay? Just doing this for your notes. So it's 39.70, and notice that you could be off by 1 cent. So it's important you get that right. Right? So 39.70 is what you're going to write down for CPP. Do the same thing for EI. EI starts actually right next page in this case. Go find where 869.25 would fit under. So you need this chart for the test, okay, folks? Or else you won't be able to answer it. EI 869.25 fits right down here. So let me show you. 869.25 fits between 869.08 and 869.65. So it's 1504 is the value you're after. So those are CPP and EI are done similarly. Taxes are also done in a similar fashion. So what you need to do is go find the federal tax now. Okay, look for the heading. Federal tax is a little different. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over. There's only the brackets are along the side here, and here you have to have a claim code, right? And in this case, what's the claim code again? 3. So you put your pencil or whatever on claim code 3 up here, and then with the other finger you find 869. And the first page you don't get it. You gotta continue. This is the next federal tax. Always look for the heading. Your claim code 3. Go all the way down. Not all the way, but 869 is right here. Let me just zoom. Scooch. 869 is found between 864 and 872. So you bring down the pencil, right? You're on claim code 3, and then you match that bracket, and it's 8615 that you want. 8615. And we did this yesterday, so the video is up. So if you need a refresher or this isn't enough, you go there, okay? And now last but not least is the provincial, Manitoba provincial tax. These are the 4 that you must have on your pay stub. So I'm going to go and find 869. It's right down here. Actually, there is 869 right here. Do you see it? Don't fall for it. You're actually still, you got to go up 1 category because of the 25 cents. That puts you in here. Okay, then claim code 0, claim code 1, 2, 3, so it's 7165. Okay, so this is testing your knowledge of chart reading. These are the 4. Then we're going to do parking is 15. Meal is 125. And so we're going to add the 4 that we have to plus the 2 that were also mentioned in the problem. So deductions would be, so I can zoom in again, right? There. You got to be very careful here. If you rush, if you type it in too fast, you will be off, and that would be a shame. You've done all the work already. 350, 254. Is that what we're getting? Yeah? Okay. So this answer is B. A, B, and now we're going to do C at the very end, net income. Net is gross minus deductions. So it's 869.25 minus 352.54. That's 516.71. This is the net. Now, could I have asked you what percentage of your income is being deducted? We did that yesterday, right? You take the deductions divided by gross times 100. I could ask you what percentage is CPP, like just CPP. What is that compared to your income? You take CPP divided by your gross times 100. It's almost like a test score, right? Like you got this much taken off out of the total, so that you should be comfortable with. Okay. All right. That's that for net pay. So this is a full circle example, okay? Now, I still, before I'm going to ask you to work on this stuff in a bit. Before we do that, I want you to go to page, let me just look it up. I have one with raises. 1 second, okay? So we haven't talked about tips a whole lot, like working as a waitress or waiter, but I think that should be common sense. 1 second, okay? I need to find my, I have it in one empty slot here. Yeah. So can you go to page 38 right now? And we're just going to mention how to calculate a raise. because hopefully we're all going to get a raise at one point while we're working, right? That's always the ultimate goal. So page 38, and just write this down and then I will explain it. Calculating raises, okay? Yeah, so for this test that's coming up, there's going to be no online option on that. So you're going to have to write it in person. In the cafeteria will be nice spread out there. And it should work. So what has happened, like every time a positive case came out, it happens over Sunday evening for some reason. And then I get a bunch of emails on Monday morning. It's like, oh, what's happening, right? Like the test continues as usual. If it's canceled or whatever, we will notify you, right? The province would shut us down if it's deemed high risk. So if you don't hear from me, it's business as usual, okay? All right, so again, I box things in, put it in your study sheet, right? So usually the raise is given as a percentage. If your boss tells you that you're getting a 7% raise, what does that really mean? Well, it means that you get 7% more than your previous wage or salary, right? So to calculate the raise, you take your current wage, it could be dollars per hour, it could be dollars per year, whatever. You multiply it by the rate, but make sure it's as a decimal. And then so your new wage would just be current, like whatever you're making up till the raise, plus the raise you just calculated up here. That would be your new wage. So it's almost like if somebody marks something up, or discount for that matter, right? We would find out how much the markup is in dollars. We'd take the wholesale times the rate. Then we'd say, what's the retail, right? Well, it's the wholesale plus the markup, right? If it's a discount question, you do the same. You find a discount in dollars, but then to find the new price, the sale price, you take the current minus the discount, right? So it's almost, there's a theme here, right? From this, you can still do the pyramid thing, okay? If you want the raise as a percentage, right? If I ever ask you, hey, what would that raise have been as a percentage? Then you take the raise divided by current wage, multiply by 100, and that's how you get it, okay? That's all I'm going to say with regards to that. And I will talk about that more tomorrow when we do the examples, okay? For now, okay? I'm not sure when I started handing this worksheet out, but you're gonna find this handout. I know that most of the class has it at this point. Like this group right here that is with me now is the biggest group I have. So that makes most of you now, okay? So find this handout, and there are different growth. Just listen to me for 1 second before you start working, right? So that person makes a gross pay of this, has a claim code of 4. So for that person, you're gonna fill in this chart right here and then calculate the net pay. And you continue going down this chart. It's a bit repetitive, but it's really important that you know how to do that, okay? Yeah, it's the last one. Or second last, maybe the second last. If you don't have this, okay, you're listening at home, you're like, I don't have it. Look at under Classroom right now, Google Classroom. I put a PDF of this up there. That way you can scroll up and down. So do this on loose leaf, right? You don't have to make the table. Just 1A, right? You do CVP, federal tax, provincial, deductions, net pay, just like we've been doing. And then get it from me when you come in later this week. Then you will be able to do that. Okay. So that's going to be your task for the rest of the class, but don't leave yet. I might have an announcement yet before you go. Okay, so just stay online. Can you Right. Right now we're working on this kind of. Have you seen the net pay? Have you seen the net pay videos, like calculating net pay? Okay. Get set up. Have a calculator. Your chart like this. Do you have this? Yeah. The lower one. So that was made 45 here. This is the lower one. So it's 10 equals 4. So it's 10 equals 4. Yes, Montana, that's how we're doing. I will at the end give you the key, okay? Can I just have one moment of your time? With the federal and the provincial tax, you will sometimes like land right in between two values. I don't know if you've noticed that. So let's say you make exactly 640, so you could be here or here, right? You always take the lower one. Okay, so if you're caught in between, you take the lower bracket, right? The one before. And then if you remember that, you'll be fine. Okay, forgot to mention that.